Hi, people. Today I'm going to talk to you about my depression and how I try to get over it. Once you have depression, I don't think that it really goes away, but there is a way of controlling it. About 7, 8 years ago, I fell in the bathtub and it busted my shoulder. Finally went to the doctor after a week or two of not being able to perform my duties as a respiratory therapist because my shoulder was painful. I still did it, which probably ruined it more. So I went to my doctor, and of course, they do the weight and the blood pressure and everything. And my blood pressure was really super elevated. So, of course, I left that place, the doctor's office, with blood pressure medication. She had drawn my blood and got the lab results, and my blood work was all crazy. Um, but my blood pressure was enough controlled so that I could have the surgery. After I had the surgery, I had this overwhelming weakness where I couldn't even walk from a near parking space at Walmart, for instance, and not be able to walk. It felt like my hips were separating. It was so painful, I would have to stop. About a week later, I was in a walker. I was going to the cancer center. I was going to physical therapy. And it ended up that um, for some reason I was picking up garbage and I was walking up the stairs and the whole left side of my body became numb. So I was admitted in the hospital for a possible stroke. Nothing showed up on CAT scan or MRI or anything like that. Uh, but it made me more debilitated than I was, made me more weak. I had numerous times of them. They called it lacunar infarct, very tiny infarcts. So here I am getting depressed. My boyfriend had started drinking again because I guess he blamed it on my situation. But I became disabled, in and out of doctor's office, going to rheumatologists, being put on antidepressants to control the pain, um, and I'm still on them. uh, I just got really depressed and really sad, and my doctor said it's time that you get some counseling. So I did, and it was going fairly well, but not really hitting anything deep. Guess I didn't feel comfortable with the person. Well, anyways, I got more in a deeper depression because of the fact that I couldn't afford my rent anymore, and I had to go to a Section 8 housing for disabled and elderly people, which was an apartment building, and I was in the basement. I had a lunatic next door that would throw things around in his room and whatnot. And so it came to start that I was itching. Things, it just felt like mosquitoes were biting me, like at a rapid pace, like 100 at a time. And I'd itch my arm, and then it would itch more, and then it would itch more. My legs, my calves, my thighs, where I couldn't even walk. And I would end up going to the emergency room, and then they put me on some medication, anti-anxiety medication, which really helped with the itching. And then what also helped was my children telling me, stop itching, mom, stop itching, mom, stop itching, mom. Even though it was irritating, it was helpful. So I was going crazy in this apartment complex, and really depressed. And so I asked my mother if I could stay at her place in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I used to live and work. I went there and went to a doctor, to have a practitioner that would be following my health and trying to help me along the way. Well, I moved to Flagstaff, went to counseling, and I got me a really good counselor. And she went real deep. deep. Way back when I was younger, I had a confrontation. I was molested by my assistant swim team coach. I think I was about 8, maybe. And of course, my dad was so concerned about his reputation as a doctor that this happened to me. And I had to go to court and I had to face my accuser because back then they didn't have the defense that they do for children now. So we really went back into my childhood with problems that arose and my acting out and doing crazy shit. And what really got me depressed was not being able to work at all in my profession, which is respiratory therapy. I miss it. I still miss it. But when I became disabled and on disability and Medicare, I made too much money for Medicaid, so I only got covered 80%. Was having difficulty breathing. So then I was put on oxygen, went to a pulmonologist, found out that I even had valley fever. I was going crazy. Why the hell is this all happening to me? Why do I have to keep going to cancer doctors? Because I have leukocytosis. And then I go to the cancer doctor and nothing is there. Well, that causes a lot of anxiety and depression. So my counselor literally said to me, you have to start keeping yourself busy. You have to do something in order to fulfill your need to work and to do something. So then I started raising goats and chickens, and that took a lot of my time. And I still have a potbelly pig, and a lot of gardening and whatnot. So she told me that I have to learn how to deal with it, and how I dealt with it was keeping myself busy. I think that's really, really important. Don't sit around and do nothing all day. Actually, the last 2 weeks I have done nothing. I have a Fitbit and I usually walk 10,000 steps a day, which is about 6 miles. But I've been kind of depressed. I've been wanting to go to the Bahamas, which is real exciting for me. The one thing that really caused my depression after I got over the fact that I was disabled, but the dream that I wanted to do was no longer a dream. It was no longer a happening. You see, I was not only a respiratory therapist, but I also had my own business selling motorcycle apparel and collectibles. And what happened was I could no longer put up the tent myself or, um, get things set up. I just couldn't do it. I was in that dang walker. But when I did move to Flagstaff, I couldn't use the walker anymore because the the street that I live on is all cinder. Um, so what happens is I want to go over to see my daughter and my grandkids next door, and I can't do it because the wheels would not move. So before I left Wisconsin, I actually had the physical therapist teach me how to use a cane. So then I used the cane. Well, I don't like the cane. I was told by an old friend in the Bahamas that I look like I'm old using the cane. So I finally threw my cane away 2 weeks ago. No, longer than 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. Um, Before I went to London, I had the cane in the car, but I left it in there. I didn't want the cane. I didn't want to feel old. I didn't want to feel like I was disabled um, to my friends or anything like that. And I did it. I got through it. I walked. Uh, God knows I walked. And without a cane, and I felt so proud of myself. But anyways, getting back to more depressing type things, even though I did get over not working and not being able to do my dream of traveling and being a respiratory therapist during the week and hitting flea markets and motorcycle events, wherever I could find work. So, and of course, warm in up north in the summer, and then when it gets cold, I go to the Bahamas. And last year in November, I had a brain aneurysm, believe it or not. My blood pressure was sky high, even though it's been controlled. I didn't even need blood pressure medicine anymore. Um, and what happened was I woke up with a really bad headache, and I was in the Bahamas. And when I finally got to the doctor, she's like, "You better find a flight out of here, or you're going to be paying a $10,000 flight because I'm going to have to fly you out." So, in the grace of God or gods, I got on a plane and I got to Mount Sinai in Miami Beach, and they had to do an angiogram where it's just total terror. You're awake, but they have you tied down literally, like Velcroed down to so you're not moving, and they put you in this head thing, and they go through your artery in your groin area all the way up to your brain. And if there's damage, then they try to repair it by putting in a stent or whatnot. And when they got up into the brain where they saw the aneurysm, poof, it was gone. Thank you, God. I prayed to every God. I said, I want to see my grandchildren. I want to see great grandchildren. I promise to be more healthy and live healthy and happy. Just get me through this. And I got through it. I was in the hospital for a week, and I had photosensitivity and whatnot. But I promised myself that I was going to live different. And so now, not only do I do different artwork to keep my brain busy, because if you have depression, the best thing to do is to keep yourself busy. So, gardening is great, it's fun, artwork, painting, drawing, sketching, even start a YouTube channel. Just something to keep your mind busy and your mind focused on what you want to do. For anybody that has suffering from anxiety or depression or both, my honest suggestion is talk to somebody. You can even talk to me if you watch this video and you want to talk to somebody. Getting shit off your chest and learning how to deal with the shit in life. Counseling is not giving up or not being crazy, mentally ill, where people are going to label you as that. It is great. It's great to talk to somebody that doesn't know you. You can tell them anything, and it doesn't leave that conversation. It doesn't go anywhere else. And that is how I'm coping with my depression, my anxieties, and my illness. Got to keep on going. I got a long, long road ahead of me. So I hope for some of you this will be helpful. Like I said, if you want to talk, you can email me, shortcake1262@hotmail.com. You can message me on Messenger, Susan Patlak, or send me your email or Skype or whatever. I'm here to help anybody get through this. I'm presently taking courses on becoming a counselor through a British online school because it's cheaper than America. And so that's all I have to say. Just make yourself happy. Love yourself. It'll all get better, but it first starts with you and accepting the fact that maybe you do need help or you need to talk to somebody or punching bag. So have a great day. Be happy. Be peaceful and love. Thank you.